Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, the 675LT, aka Longtail, for the folks over at McLaren. Now, we've talked about the actual specification of this machine in one of the past programs, but let's talk about price and availability on this machine, as this vehicle made its official debut at the Geneva Motor Show. There'll only be 500 built for the world, so this thing is quite rare, and pricing is going to start at £259,500 sterling, yet to release U.S. pricing on this machine as of yet. Now, you can get the Club Sport package on top of this particular machine, which will cost you an extra £5 grand pound sterling on top of that as well. But if you're wanting to get a hold of one of these, you better get to your dealership quick, because July of 2015, these vehicles will be reaching dealer showrooms, so you better get on your horse. Another vehicle that debuted at the Geneva Motor Show is the brand new Lamborghini Sport Veloce, aka SV, LP 750-4. Now, this particular machine is a more track-focused version of the Aventador, and it comes with the same 6.5-liter normally aspirated V12, putting out 740 brake horsepower and 509 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 62 comes in at 2.8 seconds with a top speed of 217 miles an hour. Now, again, this is a little bit more track focused. So, like, the big rear wing is fully adjustable. It's got adjustable dampers all the way on all four corners. Huge braking package, carbon ceramics all the way around. And the thing's gone on a diet a tad bit, losing 110 pounds. Now, that being said, this car is a little bit on the hefty side anyway, is weighing just a touch under 4,000 pounds in total. Lamborghini has yet to release any pricing or availability on the Sport Veloce, but I'm assuming we're going to hear some more stuff very, very soon. Next up on the list, the Koenigsegg folks put together their own track version vehicle. This is the Agera RS. Now, this particular machine, in the same boat as that Sport Veloce, as it's being way more track-focused than the standard Agera R. This thing's gone on a tad bit of a diet. It's got the same 5-liter twin-turbocharged V8, putting out 1,160 brake horsepower and 944 pounds-feet of torque. Now, that is slipped through a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Now, this vehicle has a lot of tricks as far as aero parts is concerned, including that massive rear wing out back. And they claim that this thing puts down 922 pounds of downforce at 155 miles an hour, which is really where you need that downforce the most. Now, that being said, this vehicle's a little bit more on the svelte side. This car's curb weight just comes in at just a touch over 3,000 pounds. In fact, 3,075 pounds, so quite a lightweight piece indeed, especially nowadays. Now, the trick is there's only going to be 25 of these built for the world at a starting price of $1,650,000 US. So, no talking about when these cars will be hitting dealership showrooms. I guess Koenigsegg really doesn't have dealership showrooms, but where you're going to actually be able to take delivery of this particular machine. But I'm sure if you've already pumped in your $1.65 million, Koenigsegg folks will keep you in tune when your car is ready. Another machine the Koenigsegg folks showed off at the Geneva Motor Show is this car. This is the Regera. Now, this particular machine is a hybrid, kinda? I mean, I don't know what else to call this particular machine. It is direct drive, which is pretty strange indeed, especially for what could be a production automobile. We don't know 100% what Koenigsegg folks have up their sleeve as far as this machine is concerned. That being said, this group's only built 150 cars in their entire lifetime, so chances are this is not just a technical exercise. This vehicle will actually be built. But if you look out back, you see there is a plug-in in it, which does mean that this machine does have an electric engine and does have somewhat of a hybrid drivetrain. Now, versus the Agera RS, this thing has a wing, but it's retractable. This thing looks a lot more like a vehicle that's really going to cut through the air for good fuel economy, if that's being said for this particular machine. But let's focus on what the vehicle's drivetrain is all about. The folks over at Koenigsegg put off this particular picture. Now, what you look up front are the battery packs. Now, those are going to actually store up the electric juice for the energy that the electric engines are going to need. Now, the little bit past that, you're going to see something that looks quite a bit more familiar to all us hot rodders out there. That's that twin turbocharged 5-liter V8 putting out 1,100 brake horsepower. Now, right behind it is an electric engine. Now, depending on where you go on the old internets, some people say that this thing's going to be making 220 brake horsepower. Then there's 2 more electric engines that are actually attached right to the drive lines. One for the right wheel, one for the left wheel, obviously used for a torque vectoring for to help this car as far as cornering is concerned. Now, these particular ones are putting out about 195, 200 brake horsepower for the pair of them. So, the folks over at Koenigsegg are claiming this thing's going to have north of 1,500 brake horsepower. But if you hunt on other parts of the internets, there's a lot of people talking that those electric engines in total are going to be putting out 700 brake horsepower, which is going to bring that total well up to 1,800 brake horsepower for the lot of them. Now, as far as Koenigsegg's officially said, this thing will have more than 1,500 brake horsepower and will have 1,475 pounds-feet of torque. Now, as far as this direct drive system is concerned, this particular setup weighs, and it's got a hefty little weight penalty to this, as this thing weighs 195 pounds more than that dual clutch transmission like that's in the Agera RS. So there is a fair weight penalty. That being said, 1,500 brake horsepower, 1,475 pounds-feet of torque, yeah, I think it's probably made up for it a little bit. Now, again, these guys don't build design concepts. They don't build technical exercise pieces. I'm assuming this thing's going into production hopefully very soon. We'll hopefully know a whole lot more very soon. And last up on the list, it's a goodbye to an old friend. The Bugatti Veyron. This is the La Finale. This is the last, the 450th of the 450 Veyrons that were ever going to be produced. Now, there's nothing super special about this. That's probably not really fair to be said, and this is the last of a generation, but there's nothing outstanding as far as technically is concerned, as this thing is more of a cosmetic design, and that's probably not really being fair to this particular machine, as well as it is more of a change up on the interior, change up on the exterior to celebrate the last ever edition. Now, this vehicle does come with the 8-liter quad turbocharged W16 that puts out 1,183 brake horsepower and 1,106 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 62 comes in, like all the other Sport Fatigues, at 2.5 seconds with a top speed of 254 miles an hour. Now, this is a one-of-one. This is like a lot of the other special editions that were shown off. And in fact, the Geneva Motor Show, this particular machine is sitting right beside Numero Uno, the first ever Veyron ever built. In fact, these particular machines, the paint schemes actually flip-flopped as far as these particular machines are concerned. Now, this vehicle is already sold. It's already going to a new owner as soon as the Geneva Motor Show is over. This car sold for 2.3 million euros or 2.6 million US dollars. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, if you like it, we'd appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.